Trump wouldn't want to go to war with Venezuela because Venezuela has the largest proven oil reserves in the world, would he? There's no way that oil companies donated a significant amount of money to Trump's campaign, did they? What? That's weird. Didn't Bush have a plan to invade Venezuela? Oh yeah, he did. But instead, he decided to go to Iraq and Afghanistan. There's no way that 2 Green Berets led 60 men to go kidnap Maduro in Venezuela during Trump's first term. Did that happen? And then they got captured, and they said that they were backed by the United States government. Man, that's fucking weird. And now, Trump is bombing boats that have outboard motors because he's saying that they're going to the United States. But Rand Paul just went on record and said they would have to refuel 20 or 30 times to get to Miami with an outboard motor on a boat. There's no way that Trump would try to lower gas prices and sacrifice our future generations just to make a campaign promise. Would he? No, that's crazy. That is crazy. Is it? Is it crazy? What do you global war on terrorism vets think? Is that crazy? Huh?
Last month I talked about how Donald Trump's rhetoric around Venezuela reminded me of the rhetoric around Panama in 1988 and 1989, and how we were heading towards a similar situation, this time with Maduro in 89, and it was Manuel Noriega. But today, with the announced relocation of the USS Gerald Ford, which has been on a patrol in the Mediterranean, to the Caribbean, it further escalates that belief that Donald Trump is going to send troops on the ground in Venezuela for no other reason than to overthrow Maduro. And if you remember, Donald Trump got passed over for the Nobel Peace Prize, and that went to Maria Machado. And many people came out and said, hey, Mrs. Machado called Donald Trump and said he deserved this. And I said then, she was only doing this to essentially kiss Donald Trump's ass because she needs Donald Trump's help to get rid of Maduro, as she's the opposition leader in Venezuela right now. She's in hiding, but she is the opposition leader. So if I were Maria Machado, I for sure would call Donald Trump and say, you deserved this more than me, and you're a great man. And I would butter him up in an attempt to invade Venezuela so that I could take power, which is exactly what we're seeing happen. Donald Trump has increased rhetoric since that phone call. He has increased the attacks against Venezuela. He has increased the thoughts that he's going to put troops on the ground, and he's escalating the type of military equipment we're sending there. A full aircraft carrier strike group. We've had B-52s off the coast. He's talked about sending B-1 bombers over land, and it's only going to get worse. And it's because he was buttered up by Machado, and he fully believes that Maduro is helping push Tren de Agua into the United States. But that's because that's what he's being told by the propaganda that Donald Trump consumes.
Trump is going to start a war with Venezuela to distract from the fact that millions of people are going to begin starving in the United States this winter. Why am I saying this? 14% of the U.S. Navy is either already in or being repositioned to the Caribbean off the coast of Venezuela. Our most advanced carrier strike group is being repositioned from the Mediterranean to the Caribbean. We've already had the CIA authorized to conduct activities inside the country of Venezuela, and on November 1st, SNAP benefits are going to be cut off, as well as many funds and assistance programs for those who need help with paying their heating bill. People are going to be starving and freezing, and Trump is going to use this war with Venezuela to consolidate power even more. Declare an emergency. Say, well, see, we can't pay. We have to fund this war, so we can't feed our people. That's insane. We have to defeat this horrible regime. And I'm not saying the Maduro regime is good, but right now they pose no real threat to the United States. They pose no threat to the American people. They are not a national security threat at this time. And those strikes that they continue to make in the Caribbean on these vessels are against international law. They are against international norms of due process. The people who have survived those strikes were repatriated to their own countries and not charged by them. What does that tell you? That tells me that this administration is ready to start a war to distract the American people from the fact that millions of their fellow Americans are starving and freezing to death.
Well. I want to talk about Venezuela in a way that I don't see anybody talking about it today. Yes, you know, Daddy Dumpy Pants got up there the other day and said that I'm not declaring war on Venezuela. We're just going to go in and kill them. You know, like dead. That's what he said. He literally said, like, dead. Who talks like that? We're going to kill him like dead. Is he a 14-year-old little girl? Who the fuck talks like that? Anyway, the thing that I want to talk about with Venezuela today is because, well, we are sending our largest aircraft carriers into the waters. And I mean, it looks like we're declaring war on Venezuela, no matter what Daddy wants to call it today. And I just thought it'd be a good time to remind people here in the US of A how close Venezuela is to the United States. I mean, it's a hop, skip, and a jump, baby. It's nothing more than a small boat ride, honey. I mean, the administration has to admit that, right? Because that's why they're dropping bombs in the seas, because those boats can get here expeditiously, correct, honey? Yeah, so I guess it's safe to say that Venezuela is just a hop, skip, and a jump away. Have we ever dropped bombs on anybody that is a hop, skip, and a jump away to our coastal shores? And yes, we've got this wonderful military and defense system. But answer me this. What do you think it would do to a coastal state on the Gulf of Mexico in the United States if just one missile shot from Venezuela hit our shores? And by the way, they're close enough to do that to us today. You know, we're so safe over here, aren't we, dear? We know how far away China is. We know how far away Russia is from, well, the lower half of the United States. They're just a literal walk away from Alaska. But either way, you just think about that today. We're not in a fight with Japan, and they made it to Hawaii, dear. Pearl Harbor, you remember that? Oh, yes. So you think about that today. You think about how close Venezuela is to all those red states on the Gulf of Mexico. And all it would take would be one Venezuela missile skirting on through. Who might be waiting to hand Venezuela some weapons today? Could be Voldemort Poontang. That would be a fabulous play. Who is Venezuela in bed with, dear? Qatar and Saudi Arabia. Didn't we just sign an agreement to hand over a bunch of our weapons to Qatar? What happens every time in American history when we, you know, form an allyship with former enemies and then train them in our planes and then give them or sell them our weapons, dear? What happens? Oh, they end up turning around and using that. So, this is just your friendly reminder today that Venezuela is only a hop, skip, and a jump away. Venezuela is in bed with Qatar and Saudi Arabia. And probably Iran, too. The Voldemort Poontang man, he's in bed with Iran. Baby, this is just your fucking reminder, honey.
Today, Donald Trump just casually announced he doesn't need congressional approval to declare war. He's going to send troops into Venezuela and, I quote, kill them. And he said it gleefully. According to the Midas Touch, 17% of the Navy is currently mobilizing off the coast of Venezuela. 17% of naval power. People are not talking enough about how terrifyingly close we are to a real shooting war. And you know who is a close ally to Venezuela? China. This is how larger conflicts begin, with a narcissistic madman playing with matches next to a powder keg. Too many Americans live in this fantasy land where they think war could never touch our soil. They think we're immune, but we are not, especially not with the most incompetent, maniacal people in the land directing our military. We are being led by a man who thinks foreign policy is a reality TV show, and the ratings are more important than the human lives. So my very serious question is this. This is for everyone in the U.S. military. When are you going to stand up and refuse these illegal orders? The Constitution, you know, that document you swore an oath to defend, states explicitly that a president needs congressional approval to declare war. So when the president stands up and says, nah, fuck your Constitution, those are illegal orders. It is insane that the military is going along with this. I keep seeing all these ex-military commentators saying, oh, the military would never carry out illegal orders. Now what? Because what I'm seeing is silence and compliance. What I'm hearing is a man openly planning war crimes and facing zero immediate pushback from the institution tasked with stopping this exact. So I'm sorry to go after active duty members, but what the fuck? When is enough going to be enough? When is the military going to do its sworn duty? Because refusing to participating in a coup is one thing. Refusing to carry out illegal offensive war is another. And it is within your authority, actually your duty, to refuse. I saw a video earlier today from an active Army vet saying people are quietly being demoted from high-ranking positions, and that is not normal. So I'll ask again, when are y'all gonna say enough is enough? Because from where I'm sitting, it really looks like service members are just falling in line. And I've seen nothing other than commentary from retired folks convince me they're not just going to go along with it and kill people illegally, which is a fucking war crime. Where is the International Criminal Court in all of this? Aren't they supposed to be the backstop for this exact kind of scenario? It feels like every institution that was designed to prevent this is crumbling, and we're all just watching it happen. I am terrified, and I am begging somebody to explain why the fuck this is happening.
Okay, so let me talk to y'all for a second, because what's happening right now with Trump and Venezuela is very dangerous, and I need people to be able to see through this game. See, Donald Trump is sending our U.S. military into another country claiming it's about fighting drug traffickers. But let's be honest, that's not what this is about. This is about power, not protection. Every time Trump is cornered, when the government is shut down, when people are protesting, when his approval rating starts dropping, he does the same thing. He tries to distract America with the war. Now he's talking about narco-terrorists in Venezuela. But if you look at the facts, most of the cocaine that enters this country doesn't even come from Venezuela. Experts from the UN, from BBC, from Reuters have already said that. So why is Trump risking American lives and billions of taxpayer dollars on something that doesn't add up? Because he wants to present himself as a strong man, and that's the problem. He's using our military, our brothers and sisters in uniform, like stage props for his political ego. That's not national security, that's Trump's insecurity. Because meanwhile, families right here in America are missing paychecks because of this shutdown. Veterans can't get benefits. Teachers are buying classroom supplies out of their own pockets. But somehow this man got money for missiles and warships and CIA covert operations. That's not America first. That's America used and abused for his photo opportunity. Now let's be real clear. This isn't the first time we've seen this play. They said Iraq had weapons of mass destruction. They said Libya needed liberation. They said Afghanistan was about stopping terror. In 20 plus years, trillions of dollars, and countless lives later, what did we actually get? Nothing but pain and instability. And now Trump's trying to run that same lie again. He says it's about stopping drugs, but it's really about regime change, trying to topple another government and call it democracy. But the truth is, when America bombs a poor country in the name of freedom, the people who suffer the most are never the leaders. It's the children. The mothers, the families, just trying to live. That's not leadership. That's cruelty dressed up as patriotism. Oh, and let's not forget, Congress never approved this. The Constitution says only Congress can declare war, but Trump keeps acting like he's above the law. He's rewriting democracy to fit his own ego, and if we let this slide, no president will ever need permission again to start a war. So no, we should not support this strike on Venezuela, not one dime, not one drop of American blood for a lie. Because America doesn't need another war. We need peace, housing, jobs, education, and accountability. We need our tax dollars fixing our communities, not destroying someone else's. Every bomb dropped is another classroom underfunded, another prescription unpaid, and a bridge left to crumble. So while Trump plays dictator, remember this: real strength doesn't come from how many bombs you drop. It comes from how many lives you lift up.
So Donald Trump is saying he doesn't need Congress to go to war with Venezuela. That he's just going to go in and kill people. And that he will get Congress involved when Maduro is in a body bag and in U.S. custody. Now, he's saying it's about drugs. His people around him are saying it's about drugs. But it's not. They just recently discovered an extremely large reserve of oil in Venezuela. And he wants that oil. That's what it is. Again. We're going to war for oil again. And this is not Iraq. This is not Afghanistan. This is not anywhere in the Middle East. This is Venezuela, the jungles of Venezuela. It's going to be Vietnam 2.0. And it's obviously unconstitutional, but what the fuck else is new that he's done that's unconstitutional? But this is a big one. This is a big one. Like, I am praying that our commanders finally step in and say, no more, you're done. We're not doing this. That just stand their ground, like risk going to prison for saying no, put themselves on the line. They need to do what's in one of the core values of the military, which is selfless service, personal courage, honor, integrity, things like that. Like I said, all the the other shit, he's going to be held. We need to start holding people accountable for all that other shit that's been going on. But if he pulls the trigger on this, somebody needs to step in, because like we're for what? People are saying he wants to be a wartime president for some dumb fucking reason. People saying like, oh, well, we won't have elections if he goes to war, and that's his plan. And it's like, it doesn't work like that here in America. You cannot suspend elections here in America. You can't. Like it would have to be basically the United States is over kind of thing for that to happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, there would have to be basically no more United States for the elections to not happen anymore. But that's besides the point. Like, it's mind-boggling. It's mind-boggling that this is the timeline that we're in right now. But instead of fear-mongering and getting people riled up about this, I'm going to give you what's been brewing in the back of my thoughts about this. Why I personally haven't been freaking out Like, freaked out, but I haven't been freaking out. I just feel this sense that something is brewing in the background. That something is brewing. Like, I feel like that the reason why nobody has done something is, I feel like that they're waiting for the right things to be in place. For it to just knock it all down. Just to put a stop to it, emergency brake, full stop, and something happens and there's a lull, and then, we rebuild. You know what I'm saying? Like, again, I feel like that the people who are going to be holding these individuals accountable, and I don't think they're going to wait necessarily until the midterms, because at this rate, we're like, the midterms are up in question right now. So I have this feeling and this sense that, especially with Jack Smith saying, hey, let me testify publicly about his thing, that there's something building. Does that make sense? He's losing support. People are pulling away from him. His ultra MAGA base is now starting to turn on him. The conspiracy theorists, the flat earthers, the Alex Jones kind of thing. The really hardcore ones, the ones that were basically a ride or die, give you all of my life savings kind of backing of Trump. They're backing away now. They're feeling betrayed by him. So he's losing that. And a lot of other people are pulling away, and especially with Mike Johnson getting so much heat over this, over the Arizona representative situation. But now with him saying he's going to go to war with Venezuela, on top of tearing apart the East Wing of the White House, I feel like that somebody out there in the background is saying, okay, we need to make a plan now. That's just a feeling. I'm speculating right now. I'm probably being very delusional about what could potentially happen. It could just be on face value that nothing's being done. We're going to start sending our servicemen and women into another country again to fight and die for oil. Not for defense, not for defending other people, not any of that, for oil. Because some billionaire wants more. Cheap oil. It's the same story, and that could be just literally it. But it also could be that, hey, somebody in the background sees what's happening, knows what's going on, and they've had this plan this entire time since November, since it came to a head that he won through very suspicious means. But we're just gonna have to wait and see. I highly suggest, even though you feel like it's not working, keep calling your representatives, keep calling your senators, keep calling your House representatives. Don't let up that switchboard. Keep emailing, keep petitioning, do all that stuff. We are going to have another No Kings protest. It's going to be around Black Friday. It's going to be a complete blackout. We're doing things smart. We're making a plan for that day. So, stay connected with your community. There's a lot of people putting in work here on the outside, but on the inside, I feel like that there's being work done on the inside too. So not everything is lost. Not yet. But yeah, like I said, he said he doesn't need Congress. Apparently. So everybody else is just sitting there. He can do whatever he wants, right?